Well, good evening, pro wrestling fans from all around the world of all shapes and sizes. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, for this video, I'm going to be reviewing both TNA Rebellion and AEW Dynasty. Of course, AEW Dynasty just finished moments ago, and I watched TNA Rebellion after I got home from church. So I'm going to be reviewing both of those shows for this video. Both shows were pretty good. Pretty dang on good. A lot of highs, a few lows, but both of the shows were pretty solid. So first off, we are going to start with TNA Rebellion, which TNA Rebellion actually happened on Saturday, and AEW Dynasty happened on Sunday. So we're going to go in order, but Rebellion for this year happened on April 20th, Saturday, April 20th. This was at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada. I guess technically Paradise, Nevada, I guess if you want to be specific. But we had 11 total matches for this show, with 3 of them being pre-show matches, or, countdown to Rebellion matches. So, had quite a load of matches. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with our pre-show matches. Let me get my graphics ready. And let's do these pre-show matches first. Okay. Here we go. All right, let's get started. Okay, first pre-show match. We started off with a trios match. We had the ABC of Chris Bay and Ace Austin teamed up with Leon Slater, competing against the Rascalz, made up of Myron Reed, Zachary, Wentz, Trey, Miguel. Quite a hot way to start off the pre-show of Rebellion. Very exciting match, very action-packed match. Definitely enjoyed all 6 of these competitors. All of them high flyers, very athletic, very agile. And I felt like that was showcased really well in this match. I think really my only complaint, it wasn't quite 10 minutes long. I wish it would have hit the 10-minute mark, but not quite 10 minutes. It was about 9 minutes and some change. So, wish it could have been longer, but with it being a pre-show match, I mean, that's something to take into account. But a lot of high flying, and just all 6 wrestlers showcased really well. But when it was all said and done, we got to see the 1-2 sweep happen with the Art of Finesse, then the Fold, and then Leon Slater finished off Myron Reed, hitting that Swanton 450 splash, and getting the cover for the 1-2-3, and the ABC and Leon Slater pick up the victory in the opening match for the pre-show. Very exciting matchup. And you got to love that Swanton 450 splash that Leon Slater does. I mean, just quite awesome. Really, really awesome. And it was really cool to see him again, because I actually got to see him a couple of times during my time in Philadelphia as he competed as part of the GCW, the Collective. So it was really cool to see him. And, Myron Reed as well. And I did get to see Ace Austin sitting behind me for the GCW For the Culture 5 show during that week. So it was cool. It was really, really cool. But great opening match. Alrighty, let's go on to our next match. Let me get this next match up. Here we go. So we did have actually we had two. We had two title matches during the pre-show. So here is the first of those two title matches. We have the Digital Media Championship on the line as the champion, Crazy Steve, defended against Laredo Kid. For the most part, this was a decent match. I felt like it was back and forth for a bit, and then Crazy Steve kind of got, I think, the gist of the momentum throughout the match. I was definitely surprised by the finish. I did not expect this finish, but Laredo Kid had Crazy Steve on the top turnbuckle, ended up biting him, and then hitting him with his version of the Spanish Fly called the Laredo Fly, and then pinned him for the 1-2-3. And just like that, we have a new TNA Digital Media Champion in Laredo Kid. To be honest, I did not expect him to be the one to dethrone Crazy Steve. I actually thought Crazy Steve was going to have the title a little longer, to be honest with you. So, yeah, was really surprised, but hey, congratulations to Laredo Kid. I mean, I've only seen him wrestle a couple of times, so I haven't seen a lot of him. But dude is good. Dude is really good. And I believe he's also part of AAA. AAA as well. So I don't know if he's still with AAA, but I do remember him being part of AAA. But yeah, congratulations to Laredo Kid. Like I said, I did not expect that to happen. So kudos to him. And then the last pre-show match, Countdown to Rebellion, was the other title match, which was for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. As the champions of Spitfire, made up of Dani Luna and Jody Threat, defended against Rosemary and Havok of Decay. Pretty decent match. More and more that I see Spitfire, they're really gelling together as a tag team. I mean, it's no surprise that Rosemary and Havok have such great chemistry, especially as, the Death Dolls. But I have to say, Spitfire is looking like a more and more legit tag team the more that I see them. So I really like what they have going there with Jody Threat and Dani Luna as a tag team. And they looked really solid in this match, especially going up against a tag team that's teamed up dozens and dozens and dozens of times over the years. So I felt like they were showcased really well. But Spitfire was able to pick up the victory as they did a really interesting looking double team finisher. It was kind of like a fireman's carry. Like Jody Threat had like the fireman's carry, or it was Jody Threat had the fireman's carry, and then kind of flipped Rosemary over to Dani Luna that kind of finished with like a spine buster, kind of like a sky high sort of combination. I don't know what you call that double team finisher, but it looked pretty fancy. But Dani Luna made the pin afterwards on Rosemary for the 1-2-3. But Spitfire still your Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. Like I said, Dani Luna, Jody Threat have been gelling really well together. And yeah, hope they keep it up. They look good. They look really good. And of course, they had Lars Fredriksson in their corner, who is part of the punk rock band Rancid, which, you know, I've listened to Rancid before. Time Bomb and Ruby Soho are really cool songs. But yeah, good victory for Spitfire. Alrighty. Now we go into the main card. So the main card started off with this. Started off with the X Division Championship on the line. As the champion, Mustafa Ali defended against Jake Something. Now, of course, this isn't the only time that Jake Something has competed for this title. But you know what? He put up a great fight in this match. You know, it was quite a clash of styles between him and Mustafa Ali. But put up a good fight. And I know Mustafa Ali's security team tried to interfere. And Jake Something, he did his best. He did his best to kind of fend everybody off. But when it came down to it, Mustafa Ali was able to catch Jake Something off guard, rolled him up with kind of like a crucifix pin for the 1, 2, 3. And Mustafa Ali, still your X Division champion, which I feel like was the right move. I personally feel like Mustafa Ali is going to have that title for a good while, if you ask me. But I think he's being established pretty well as a heel in TNA. So I know kind of elsewhere, like I've seen him wrestle in the indies, especially even recently DPW, and he still gets cheered and interacts with the fans and gets cheered. So there's that. But we'll continue to see how his run goes. But good effort from Jake Something, but just not enough, as Mustafa Ali was able to retain. All right. Let's move on to our next match. We had a singles match. Joe Hendry versus Rich Swann. I gotta be honest with y'all. I wasn't really feeling this match. It was something about it. But I was not feeling this match. I mean, yeah, I really wasn't feeling this match. And of all people, Shawne Merriman got involved, which pretty much costed Joe Hendry, because it looked like Shawne Merriman was going to, defend him and go against AJ Francis, but he ended up dropping Joe Hendry. And then all of a sudden, Rich Swann pins Joe Hendry. I mean, he hit a frog splash on him, but got him with the 1, 2, 3. But with the help of Shawne Merriman, that is former NFL player Shawne Merriman. But yeah, standing on the side of Rich Swann and AJ Francis, and AJ Francis had Hit Row 2.0 by his side with, some knockoff combination of B-Fab and Lil' Kim, only less attractive. And then afterwards, they kind of They kind of taunted Joe Hendry, and that one chick, I guess, pretty much twerked on Joe Hendry. But yeah, I wasn't feeling that match. I really wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't feeling that match. Nah. Wasn't feeling it. It's all cool though, but yeah, I wasn't feeling it. Anyway, let's move on to the next match. All right, here we go. All right, we had our Full Metal Mayhem match, which we had Eric Young versus Frankie Kazarian. I'll say this, the match was good as far as length, but I felt like this match could have been much more brutal than it was. I really do. I don't know, for the history of like TNA Full Metal Mayhem matches and Monsters Ball, they're usually pretty brutal, but this one didn't seem that much. You know, I felt like it could have been more brutal, to be honest with you. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to say it was terrible, because it was still a pretty solid match. I mean, you still got to see a lot of stuff involved. You know, tables and ladders and chairs, and even that spike 2x4. So I mean, you still got to see a lot of action. But I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't as brutal as it could have been. Wasn't as brutal as it could have been. Great back and forth, but Frankie Kazarian would get the last laugh as he hit Eric Young with a flux capacitor through a table, even though like the bottom portion of the table broke, and I guess like the way it looked like Eric Young's head kind of hit that portion or whatnot, but like the whole table didn't break. It was just only like a bottom portion of the table broke. So yeah, it was kind of awkward, but hit him with the flux capacitor through a table. Kazarian got the 1, 2, 3. Frankie Kazarian wins Full Metal Mayhem. So I don't know how much more back and forth they're going to have these two go at it, but Frankie Kazarian picks up the victory at Rebellion. Now, for this next match, I didn't have a graphic for because they just pretty much did this match. Steve Maclin came out. He wanted a match. Santino Marella came out. It's like, hey, we got your match against a returning Mike Santana. That's right. The same Mike Santana that was once part of LAX, was part of Proud and Powerful with Ortiz. Used to be part of Inner Circle. Yep, Mike Santana returns to TNA Wrestling. He got quite a great crowd reception. And then him and Steve Maclin had a good match. Felt like it could have been longer, but it was a decent match. It was a decent match for Mike Santana's return. And, you know, he looked good. Especially returning against an opponent like Steve Maclin, a former TNA World Champion. That's a pretty big comeback. Not only that, ended up picking up the victory. He hit the spin the block, little discus clothesline on Steve Maclin and pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. So big return like that, and Mike Santana gets the victory. So good for him. That's a pretty big deal, returning and defeating a former world champion. So hey, great way to return for Mike Santana. Welcome back to TNA Wrestling. Alrighty, let's keep it going with the next match. More championships on the line. Here we go. Okay, we had the TNA World Tag Team Championships on the line. As the champions, the System of Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers defended against Speedball Mountain, which is Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. Pretty great action-packed tag team match between these two teams. Felt like both did really well. More and more, I'm really liking the double team sequences with Speedball Mountain. Like, they've been gelling really well as a tag team. But then again, one thing I've noticed about Speedball Mike Bailey is he, not only is he phenomenal in singles matches, but he gels really well with all sorts of different tag partners. I mean, whether it's Jake Something or Trent Seven or Mao, like, regardless of who it is, I feel like he's really gelled well with others in tag teams. I can really appreciate that about Speedball Mike Bailey. But overall, this was a pretty solid match. And, you know, Speedball Mountain came close. It came really close. But the System, you know, continue to trust in the System, and Saturday was definitely the time to do so, as a roster cut Boston Knee Party combo on Trent Seven put him away as Eddie Edwards made the cover for the 1-2-3. The System's still your TNA World Tag Team Champions, which they'll probably be tag champs for a while. Yeah, they'll probably be tag champs for a while. Alrighty. Let's move on to our next match. Here we go. We had the last man standing match between the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and Hammerstone. Okay, let me go ahead and say this before I really dive into this match. Hammerstone walked down to the ring with Josh Alexander's headgear as sort of a trophy. His headgear as a trophy. I'm sorry, but that is freaking lame. Really, y'all? Josh Alexander's headgear he had as a trophy? You mean to tell me after that happened you couldn't get yourself another set of headgear? Come on now. Take it from Rick Steiner. Somebody that's worn different headgear before during his time of pro wrestling. He hasn't always had the same headgear. Like, come on now. Using that prop as a trophy or as that big of a significance? Dude, you could have just gone out and got yourself another set of headgear. Like, just the whole idea of him pretty much winning back his headgear, kind of lame. Kind of lame. So, I had to get that out of the way. Because, I mean, come on now. You could have just gotten another set of headgear. Come on now. But, on to the match. The match was solid. The match was really solid. I like this rivalry. Just overall, I do like the rivalry. And both these guys have just really been going at it. Like, really, really hard. And we saw quite a bit used. I mean, we even saw thumbtacks being used in this match. And, you know, it was a last man standing match, so, you know, there was no pinfall. You had to, you know, last one to be still standing and the other can't beat the count of 10. You know how it is. And they were all over the ring, inside and outside of the ring, also on the ramp. And, you know, got to give it up Josh Alexander. He got busted open very early in this match. But I felt like a good percentage of the match, Hammerstone was in control. And just beating the mess out of Josh Alexander, hitting him with everything, just dropping him here, dropping him there. And just, I mean, you would think Hammerstone should have easily won this. Especially doing his finisher, avalanche style. You would have thought he would have won. But Josh Alexander, that fighting spirit, and of course, you know, he's a former TNA world champion. So, I mean, I just thought it was kind of crazy, but Hammerstone hit him with everything. And like I said, that nightmare pendulum, avalanche style, and Josh Alexander still got up. So I was just like, wow. But Josh Alexander hung in there, and when it came down to it, he was able to hit a C4 spike on Hammerstone on the ramp. And that was pretty much enough to the point where Hammerstone couldn't get up to beat the 10 count. And therefore, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, wins as he was the last man standing. Like I said, overall, a great match. The whole significance behind the headgear and that being the prop for a trophy just sounds really silly to me. Because I'm like, it's headgear. You can just get another set of headgear. But I don't know, it's just weird. It's really, really weird. But whatever. Alright, next match. We had 2 more title matches. Including this one for the ladies. Okay, we had the TNA Knockouts World Championship on the line as the champion, Jordynne Grace, defended against Steph DeLander. Now, the thing with this match was because Matt Cardona couldn't be in her corner due to a torn pec, which apparently he's got to get surgery for, she hired the Good Hands to have her back and accompany her for this title match. Now, I mean, she did her best. And, you know, the Jordynne Grace was definitely outnumbered. But I still really felt like this match was overbooked like crazy. I mean, like crazy. Because, I mean, we saw Khan get involved, the Good Hands get involved, PCO get involved, and a returning Sami Callihan get involved. Like, there was just way too much interference in this match. Way too much. That's why I felt like it was severely overbooked. Severely overbooked. But Sami Callihan pretty much was the main turning point that kind of helped usher the final killing blow for Jordynne Grace to put away Steph DeLander, which she did with a Juggernaut driver for the 1-2-3. Jordynne Grace is still your Knockouts World Champion. But I don't know, just the way they did those last sequences leading to the end, to the finish, just that was too much. That was really too much. That was way too much. But there's Yeah. Just severely overbooked. But I'm happy that Jordynne Grace is still champion. Also, a big shout out to Jordynne Grace, because if I remember correctly, in July, it was either June or July, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, she's going to get an opportunity, a big opportunity, to travel to Japan and square off against Big Hash, Chihiro Hashimoto, for a special singles match, Sendai Girls. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I do hope to get a chance to see that, but that's a big opportunity for Jordynne Grace. Her versus Big Hash. Oh, I can't wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that. So, shout out to Jordynne Grace. Happy for her getting that opportunity. Okay. Main event. Main event. Here we go. Main event of TNA Rebellion came down to the TNA World Championship. The champion, Moose, representing the system, defending against Nick Nemeth. Match was pretty good. I know Alyssa Edwards tried to interfere and such. But, I mean, overall the match was alright. The other members of the system were there until they got kicked out by the ref. But, overall it was a pretty decent match. You know, Nick Nemeth looked really good in this match. And he came really close. But Moose was able to pretty much catch him in midair with his spear to put away Nick Nemeth for the 1-2-3. So Moose is still your TNA World Champion. The other members of the system came out to celebrate with him, but all of a sudden the lights went out, the screen got all crazy and everything like that, and then you hear a very specific, iconic laugh. The lights come on, and Broken Matt Hardy appears behind Moose and drops him with a twist of fate. That's right. Broken Matt Hardy has returned to TNA Wrestling. But here's the interesting thing. Word is that he's still technically a free agent. So, I don't know what's next for him. And apparently, another rumor is that Jeff Hardy's contract is going to be over sooner than we all thought. So, we know Matt Hardy's a free agent. Jeff Hardy's contract might be over by the end of, I don't know if by the end of May or June or what. But the fact of the matter is, word is that his contract with AEW is not as long as we all imagine. Because I think the thought was that his contract wouldn't be up until 2025. But looks like it's going to be way earlier than that. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But TNA Rebellion for 2024 overall was pretty good. Was pretty solid. Like I said, the only match that I just really didn't enjoy much of, wasn't really feeling, was the Joe Hendry versus Rich Swann match. Wasn't really feeling that. The rest of the matches were pretty solid. But TNA Rebellion 2024, pretty good. Okay, so before we switch gears to AEW Dynasty, here's a quick word on the sponsor for this video, Game Beauty. Check them out. As you continue to enjoy content here at Blitzball Champ Gaming, be sure you take a moment to check out Game Beauty. beauty inspired by gaming. Game Beauty brings to you video game related makeup and cosmetic products. You have products such as eyeshadow palettes, elemental pearl highlighters, eyeshadow brushes, liquid eyeliner pens by Akidiris, and even non-makeup products like graphic tees. They even have special collaboration makeup kits, such as this Persona 5 Heatwave Brush Single, Metaverse Bundle, and even a Phantom Thieves limited edition makeup collection. Also remember that Game Beauty provides international shipping of $60 or more. And if you use the promo code BlitzballChamp, all in caps, you can get 10% off of your order. So be sure to use that to your advantage. Now, back to your regularly scheduled video. Enjoy, and thank you. Alrighty, from TNA to AEW. AEW Dynasty, which finished about an hour or so ago, took place at the, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, the Chaifetz Arena, which was in St. Louis, Missouri. So that was the location for AEW Dynasty. The first, I'm sure, of many AEW Dynasty pay-per-views. But yeah, it took place April 21st, Chaifetz Arena, St. Louis, Missouri. We had a total of 12 matches. 3 of the matches were on the pre-show. So let's go ahead and get started with the review of AEW Dynasty. So the pre-show is called 0 Hour, as all other AEW and ROH pre-shows are named. First match. We had a singles match between Trent Beretta and Matt Sydal, which Matt Sydal had Mike Sydal in his corner, his brother. Pretty good opening match. I know Matt Sydal was very aggressive in this match, more than usual, but definitely came out firing on all cylinders. And even though it wasn't a crazy long match or anything like that, I still felt like it was pretty solid showcase of both competitors. And while I thought Trent Beretta hitting that gobstopper knee, and even before with that gotched-out pile driver, I thought that was going to be enough to put away Matt Sydal, but he kicked out. But in a very interesting fashion, Trent Beretta actually defeated Matt Sydal via submission. And he used a submission that looked, to be honest with you, it looked like the Undertaker's, you remember the Undertaker's Hell's Gate submission that he used to use to make people like spit up blood and all that? That's what it looked like. I don't know what the official name of that submission is for Trent Beretta, but it looked exactly like the same submission that Undertaker did, the Hell's Gate, and was able to submit Matt Sydal with that. Now, afterwards, Chuck Taylor came out to kind of like break things up. And then Trent Beretta got on the mic and was like, look, I don't know what your deal is, but come Wednesday on Dynamite, let me know where you stand. Like, you either with me or you're against me. Where do you stand? And then Orange Cassidy came out, and then Shibata came out and all, and then Trent Beretta was able to sneak away. But word is that I guess we'll have an idea of where Chuck Taylor stands between being on the side of Trent Beretta or Orange Cassidy. If you ask me, I think the whole best friends, I think that's dead and done, if you ask me. But with that being said, this transitioned into the next 0 hour match, which was this tag team match right here. Orange Cassidy teaming up with Katsuyori Shibata, taking on Shane Taylor and Tiger Style, Lee Moriarty, and of course Anthony Ogogo was with them. You know, they're part of STP. But yeah. Overall, very good tag match. I like all four of these guys. And I definitely like the technical chain wrestling back and forth between not only Orange Cassidy and Lee Moriarty, but also Katsuyori Shibata and Lee Moriarty. We got to remember, Lee Moriarty has that technical background. Really good. Really, really good. So I really enjoyed the chain and counter wrestling that took place in this match. I thought that was really cool. It was good seeing Shibata and Shane Taylor square off, and just, you know, the hard-hitting styles from Shane Taylor. And, you know, this was a very entertaining tag match. And it lasted a good while, too. Apparently they clocked it at 12 minutes, 40 seconds, so not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, to be honest, I really didn't have any complaints with this one. I did not have a single complaint with this one. But Orange Cassidy was able to eventually hit an orange punch on Lee Moriarty to drop him, and then he pinned him for the 1-2-3. Orange Cassidy, Katsuyori Shibata with the victory. But great tag team match. Both these teams looked really solid. Definitely enjoyed this match. Okay. And then the final match of the 0 hour, the pre-show, came down to this. A winner takes all titles for titles match where both sets of trios titles were on the line. You had the Acclaim, who are the AEW World Trios champions. That's, you know, Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Billy Gunn. And then you had the Bullet Club Gold, or the Bang Bang Gang, whichever you want to call them. Austin, Colton, Gunn, and Switchblade Jay White, who are the ROH World 6-Man Tag Team Champions. Both belts on the line, winner takes all. Now, first off, even though Max Caster didn't botch his freestyle rap, he might have went a little overboard with the extra time that he had with his freestyle rap. And I don't know, it's at the point where I feel like a lot of people just aren't feeling Max Caster anymore. It's interesting. Like, I don't know, there were a couple of times where he just botched his freestyle, and then now it's just at the point where, like, a lot of people have turned on Max Caster, don't like him anymore, and I get it. I definitely get it. Especially with the stuff he said about Joshi wrestlers. So, yeah. A lot of people are really starting to not like Max Caster. That's all I can really say. But the match was good. The match was pretty good. Quite a way to finish off the 0 hour. But here's the one thing that bothered me. Like, I'm not too upset at who won the match. But here's what I don't get. Switchblade Jay White not only ate one finisher, but ate a second finisher. Remember, he ate a famouser followed by a mic drop and still kicked out. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like, I honestly thought that was going to seal the deal for the Acclaim. Like, he didn't just get hit by one finisher. He got hit by 2 back-to-back finishers. And then they made the cover, and he still got out. And then all of a sudden, all it takes is one Blade Runner, which he hit on Billy Gunn. Pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. The Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club Gold, take all the gold. They take all the gold. So they now have both sets of trios titles, which I'm guessing they are going to unify these trios titles into one set of trios titles, which, goodness gracious, what's up with all the unification matches lately? Like, I don't know, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying, but Bullet Club Gold, keep all the gold. See what I did there? And that's how they end the 0 hour. So, not bad pre-show. Overall, not a bad pre-show. Okay. Now, the main card started off with a banger. I mean, a real legit banger. They did not waste any time on this pay-per-view. So, to open up the main card of AEW Dynasty, we had the AEW Continental Championship on the line as the champion, Kazuchika Okada, defended against Pac. Excellent match. A match that definitely went the distance. And I really like how they continued to showcase Okada as a heel in this match. And these two just really went at it back and forth. Momentum kept shifting between the two. And, you know, I was happy that there wasn't any interference. I was actually really happy that there wasn't any interference. You know, the Young Bucks or anybody like that didn't interfere. I was happy they let these two go at it from start to finish. So, I was very pleased. Very, very pleased with this match. But overall, very solid match. Pac did go up for a black arrow on Okada, but which was actually technically his second attempt. But Okada got the knees up and then was able to finish him off with a Rainmaker and pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. So Okada in his first defense, successful, of the AEW Continental Championship. But yeah, excellent match to kick off the main card of AEW Dynasty. And I'm just happy that there wasn't any outside interference. So, 2 big thumbs up. Okay. Next up, we had the special trios match. We had the team of TNT champion Adam Copeland NJPW Strong Openweight Champion Eddie Kingston and ROH World Champion Mark Briscoe all together, going up against the House of Black, which of course that's Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King. Definitely an enjoyable match between both these teams. I felt like you got to see a couple of, all-stars team up against a legit trios team. So I felt like it worked well. And, I hope they continue to really get back on track with the House of Black. But at the same time, they gotta really start giving Malachi Black more singles matches. And heck, each of them singles matches, not just always trios or tag team matches. Each member of the House of Black has been very awesome, very talented. So I hope they get to be showcased separately as well as a unit. But this match was very enjoyable. Definitely really could have gone either way. But the turning point was Malachi Black spewing the mist, the black mist, in the face of Adam Copeland, and then hitting him with a black mass. Pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. The House of Black, your winners. The more established trio. So, but like I said, it was a really good match. Really good match. Like I said, felt like you had some all-stars put together in a trio versus a legit trio. I was digging it. Okay. Let's move on to our next match. Let me get the graphic. Here we go. Okay, next match. We had the TBS Championship on the line. As the champion, House of Black's Julia Hart defended against Willow Nightingale. And this was a house rules match, and the main stipulation was that both Sky Blue and Chris Statlander were banned from ringside. Stokely, I believe, was on commentary, if I remember correctly. Match was way too short. It was only 6 minutes. Way too short. Was really bummed about that. A lot of build up to this for a 6-minute match. Bad. Nothing against both of these competitors, but that match was way too short. Way too short. With all that build up. But Willow Nightingale hits the Babe with a powerbomb on Julia Hart, pins her for the 1, 2, 3, and like that, we have a new TBS champion in Willow Nightingale. So congratulations to her. And then, of course, afterwards, Mercedes Moné, the CEO, comes out, kind of has a face-to-face moment with Willow in the ring. And now we know that Mercedes Moné will challenge Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship May 26, Double or Nothing in Vegas. I have a big issue with that. A very big issue. Are y'all gonna let Mercedes wrestle any matches between now and Double or Nothing? Tony Khan, dude, don't let this be her first match and she goes in and she dethrones Willow. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, this is the one thing I can't stand. I don't care if your contract is $100 or $1 billion. If you're signed a contract as a pro wrestler, I expect you to wrestle matches. I expect you to go to work and be utilized. You look at football players and, you know, all different professional sports athletes. What do they get paid all that money for? Because they're supposed to be the best, the most talented, and the most showcased. You put them on your team, you use them, you win. That should also carry even with professional wrestling. I don't care how scripted it is. I don't think it's fair to pay someone that type of money and they don't even get utilized. You just have them with promos. You don't have them working in ring. You don't have them wrestling matches. I mean, I thought that was what a pro wrestler's supposed to do. Wrestle and work matches. And it's going to look really messed up if y'all don't even give Mercedes any matches to build up to Double or Nothing. And then you have this match and she just dethrones Willow Nightingale and wins the TBS title. In her first match? No. I don't know. No. I mean, I wasn't even a fan of it when Okada did it, which I understand that Okada had a trios match, but still, his first singles match was for the AEW Continental Championship in AEW. Like, that ain't right. I don't care if it's Okada or Brock Lesnar or Mercedes. Like, they need to have folks earn title shots, get them in matches, earn wins. What do you think Will Ospreay is doing right now? Like, these folks need to be competing and earning wins to earn title matches. And Mercedes Moné hasn't done jack to earn a title shot at Double or Nothing. Especially, they're not going to have her wrestle any matches leading up to Double or Nothing? Nah, I think, no. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Because that's pretty much repeating the same thing that she went through via New Japan Pro Wrestling / Stardom. And no wonder why her run there was bad. I'm just keeping it real. And don't get me wrong. I like Mercedes Moné. I like Sasha Banks. I do. And that's the thing. I like her in the ring. I like her wrestling. But I just can't stand having somebody who has so much star power or whatever, and they're not being utilized. They're not wrestling matches. They're not being showcased. What's the point then? What's the point of them being there? It shouldn't just be all about promos and just, hey, eyes on me. Get in the ring and do your job, what you were hired to do. I'm just saying. And it's going to look really bad if she doesn't have a single match or any sort of build-up matches between now and May 26th for Double or Nothing. And she ends up dethroning Willow. Nah, that's not going to look good. That's not going to look good. I don't care if it's Mercedes. I don't care who it is. That's not a good look. But anyway, rant over. Let's move on to the next match. Let me see. Next match. This was another one I definitely enjoyed from start to finish. Yes. This was for the AEW International Championship. The champion, Mr. Roddy versus the World, Roderick Strong, taking on former friend and undisputed teammate, the Violent Artist Kyle O'Reilly. I have to say, Kyle O'Reilly's been looking really good since returning from injury. And once again, a banger of a match between him and Roddy Strong. Definitely went back and forth. Enjoyed this match from start to finish. But Roderick Strong ended up getting the victory. He was able to hit the end of Heartache on Kyle O'Reilly, then pinned him for the 1-2-3. But like I said, a solid match between both these guys. I mean, just really hard hitting, back and forth, really solid. The other members of the Undisputed Kingdom came out, including Adam Cole. And Adam Cole got out of the wheelchair and walked to the ring. So it looks like Adam Cole is healed. Looks like he's good to go. Maybe get back to competition. And the interesting thing was, while Wardlow's back was turned, it looked like Adam Cole was getting ready to hit him from behind because he gave him that look. But once he turned back around, it was back to normal. But give it time. I think eventually Adam Cole might lead an ousting out of Wardlow, out of the Undisputed Kingdom. That probably may happen. But I am hoping with Adam Cole walking again, and, I assume he's probably cleared. Hopefully, DPW, Deadlock Pro Wrestling, will rebook Chris Danger versus Adam Cole, which was supposed to originally happen, but of course he got injured. So hopefully they'll bring that back up now that Adam Cole is back. So we'll see. Give it time, but we'll see. But Roderick Strong retains the AEW International Championship. All right. Next match. This was for the FTW Championship, as the champion, Hook, defended against Lionheart Chris Jericho. Match was alright. I'm not going to say it was a terrible match or anything like that. But it was alright. And of course, it was FTW rules. A lot of hatred shown towards Chris Jericho. I mean, folks were chanting, "Please retire." Like, they were really going in hard on the Jericho hate. But thought this was slightly overbooked. But like, Hook did his best. He did his best. There was a lot of stuff used, tables, trash cans, all that. There was a lot of stuff used. But Chris Jericho threw everything at him, but Hook just kept getting back up. I mean, he hit him with Judas Effect here, Judas Effect there. He kept kicking out. Tried to put him in the Lion Tamer, Walls of Jericho. That wasn't enough. So what did it take to put away Hook? A hit from his baseball bat. Ended up putting away Hook. And of course, Chris Jericho's like, "I'm sorry, sorry to have to do this," and whatnot. Hit him, pinned him. 1, 2, 3, Chris Jericho is your new FTW champion. A title that he really never needed. But, I mean, they got this rivalry between him and Hook. You know, Taz was out there as well. And, yeah. There's not really much I have to say about this match. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to say it was trash or terrible, but wasn't exactly exciting. But, yeah, Chris Jericho's your new FTW champion. That's really all I can say. Yeah, that's really all I can say. Okay. Next match. Back to the ladies. One more time. All right, we had the AEW Women's World Championship. As the champion, Timeless Toni Storm defended against Thunder Rosa. Now, for a second, I thought when Thunder Rosa came to the ring and whatnot, I thought she was going to wrestle with that mask on, because she came down to the ring with that blue and black mask. But, of course, she took it off, you know, after the bell. And, of course, she didn't. She had, you know, the eye makeup and everything, but none of the face paint that she usually wears. So, you know, that was different for Thunder Rosa. But both these ladies really went at it. Back and forth. I mean, they put on a awesome match. Like I said, even though I can't stand this timeless Toni Storm gimmick, I still am a fan of Toni Storm. I do like her overall as a wrestler. Same thing with Thunder Rosa. I've met Thunder Rosa. Pretty cool. Great match. Absolutely hated the finish. The finish was terrible. The finish was awful. So, they were trying to play it like Toni Storm kicked Thunder Rosa like a low blow, which it really looked like she just kicked her in the gut. But really, y'all, now we're going to start playing up the ladies winning with low blows. Come on now. Really? So that's become a thing now. It happened in NXT not that long ago with Ariana Grace and Gigi Dolan. And that now we're doing this again with this match. Really? Not even a foreign object or anything. Just a kick to supposedly a low blow, even though it looked like a kick to Thunder Rosa's gut, before another Storm Zero. Really? Really? I would have rather y'all just had her use a foreign object or Mariah May interfere again. I mean, I know Deonna Purrazzo came out to kind of even the odds and fend off Luther and Mariah May, which is fine, but I would have rathered her just got a hold of the title and just deck Thunder Rosa or something like that than just that kick to the gut or low blow. Like, come on now. Enjoyed the match, but the finish was trash. That was a trash finish. But Toni Storm, after hitting that second Storm Zero, pinned Thunder Rosa 1, 2, 3. Toni Storm still your AEW Women's World Champion. But that was a trash finish. Okay. Let's get ready for the next match. All right, next match. Alrighty, we had the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line in a ladder match with the Young Bucks, of course, Matt and Nick Jackson going up against FTR's Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood. And like I said, this is for the vacant tag titles that were relinquished by Darby Allin and Sting. One second. Overall, the match went how I thought it would. Just with this being a ladder match, a lot of usage from ladders, tables, things like that. Dax Harwood got busted open early. But, yeah, this match was very entertaining. And it pretty much went how I figured it would go, especially with the different spots and all. So, oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Rewind. I skipped one. Where are my manners? I skipped one. Let me redo. Rewind it back. This was actually the next match. So, my apologies, y'all. Let's backtrack. So, before the AEW tag title match, we had this special singles match. The Aerial Assassin versus the American Dragon. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. Okay. I mean, from start to finish, this match was pure, not silver, not gold. This was like pure platinum. From start to finish. These two, might as well say these two legends, in a certain aspect, went at it, and it did not disappoint. And I think it is safe to say that this match is a match of the year candidate. And honestly, it might be the winning match of the year for the year 2024. I mean, just the clash of styles between these two, the counters, the multiple bell lock attempts, the multiple hidden blades, the Oz cutters, the Busaiku knees. I mean, these two just unloaded the maximum amount of their offense on each other. And it was a thing of beauty and perfection. And I know Bryan Danielson is getting up there in age. You know, he's much older than Will Ospreay, but Bryan Danielson, he may just be in his prime still, because Bryan Danielson is still just able to give you these superior instant classics. And we just got ourselves another one with Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. Back and forth. The finish, I hope Bryan Danielson was okay. So, got hit mid-air with a hidden blade. Then Will Ospreay hit him with the Storm Driver. And then one more hidden blade to put away Bryan Danielson for the 1-2-3. But it looked like, I couldn't tell if it was after that first hidden blade or after the Storm Driver. It looked like Bryan Danielson dislocated his shoulder. It looked like his shoulder got dislocated. One of my friends was saying that it's a work, but I don't know. From the way that it looked like his shoulder got dislocated. And I don't know if Will Ospreay just didn't know, but, Bryce had called over the medical staff. But Will Ospreay looked concerned after the match, and hopefully Bryan Danielson's okay, but it looked like he was legit hurt. It looked like a dislocated shoulder. But these two put on a phenomenal 5-star instant classic. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, don't be surprised if this match wins Match of the Year. It definitely will be a candidate, but don't be surprised if this match won Match of the Year. And I just feel like every match afterwards just was not able to, really match that. But still, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson is one for the record books, for sure. But yeah, definitely a Match of the Year candidate, hands down, without even thinking. Okay, now let me re-show this again. Now we're on this match, AEW World Tag Team Championship. We're on this match now. Like I said, I do apologize for skipping the previous one, but like I said, I did correct myself. That's why I take notes. To make sure I don't miss anything. Anyway, AEW tag team title match, FTR, the Young Bucks. Like I said before I went back, went like I thought it would, with all the spots, all the crazy ladder spots and stuff like that. Dax Harwood getting busted open. Nice moonsault off the middle of the ladder from Cash Wheeler on the outside to the Young Bucks. That was really nice. But this match definitely was very memorable. And when it was all said and done, a mysterious figure with a black hood and a Sting mask came out to interfere pretty much in favor of the Young Bucks in disrupting FTR from getting the tag titles, since Dax was pretty much the last one left on the ladder. He pretty much was right under the belts, but this mysterious person came in, messed all that up, and was revealed to be a returning Jack Perry. And with that being said, Nick Jackson was able to get up the ladder and retrieve the tag titles. Therefore, the Young Bucks are now three-time AEW World Tag Team Champions, with a little bit of an assist from Jack Perry. So it sounds like word is that Jack Perry, I guess his time in New Japan Pro Wrestling's done, I guess. It's kind of interesting. He was a member of House of Torture, and just, yeah, it's kind of a shock. I didn't think that would happen so quickly, but now it looks like he's back in AEW. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, other than that, solid tag title ladder match between both these teams, and that puts, I think they're tied now, 2-2. Yeah, I think they're tied now. The Young Bucks and FTR, their rivalry, I think they're tied now. So, but yeah, good stuff. And then the main event of AEW Dynasty came down to the AEW World Championship. As the champion, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, defended against Swerve Strickland. And shout out to Swerve, who came to the ring rocking Black Panther gear in his ring entrance. I thought that was pretty cool. But this was a solid match between both these guys. Really delivered and told a great story, especially with the build-up between these two. I felt like it definitely did well to get to this point. But, Swerve and Joe really went back and forth, and it was quite a great showcase of these two in the main event, and they hit their best. I mean, we saw swerve stomps, house calls, muscle busters, coquina clutch attempts, and it really could have gone either way. Really could have gone either way. But when it was all said and done, Swerve was actually able to take advantage of Samoa Joe. I believe it was his left arm, the taped up arm. He really went to work on that arm throughout the match, and it was very essential in helping to lead to one more swerve stomp, which I think that was like his second or third swerve stomp. I think second. One last swerve stomp to put away Samoa Joe. 1, 2, 3. And ladies and gentlemen, history has been made as Swerve Strickland is the first ever African American AEW World Champion. Oh yeah. History has been made. Congratulations to Swerve Strickland dethroning Samoa Joe to become the new AEW World Champion. And I hope he has an awesome reign with this title. I hope they really book him solid. But he has dethroned Samoa Joe. Great ending to a pretty solid pay-per-view. Very solid pay-per-view. Definitely. And not to mention, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson was 32 minutes long. Yeah, 32 minutes. Actually, 32 minutes, 40 seconds long. So that was definitely the longest match of the show. But, yeah, Dynasty was a good card. Good overall show. Like I said, the TBS title I felt like was the weakest because it was way too short. It was way too short. But a great, solid pay-per-view. The first ever AEW Dynasty. So, thought they did really well. But, hey, it's now pretty much the road to Double or Nothing has begun. So, we'll see how they finish up April, going into May, and getting geared up for AEW Double or Nothing, which, like I said, May 26th in Las Vegas. So, should be good. Should be really good. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. Don't forget to check out Game Beauty when you have some time. Happy shopping. And let me know what y'all thought about both TNA Rebellion for this year and the first AEW Dynasty pay-per-view. What did you think of the matches? What did you think of the title changes? Let me know what your thoughts are. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the YouTube, the Tube, I am your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, and I hope y'all have a blessed start of the week, and I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Peace. Later.